super dope little promo video that is rolling. So I'm going to shut up and let you guys listen to it. Hey, that was such a rad video. Pope, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. It's Friday, one of my favorite days of the week. Wow, used to be. That's so ingrained. I mean, almost every day is Friday now, so I love it.
Nice. No, so for those of you guys that didn't watch the space or didn't watch the video on YouTube right now, that was like a montage of all these different things that we've done over the past few months, including the trip to Hong Kong, all of the little like brief overview showing the modules and all the crazy stuff that's inside of NFA OFC. But it was cool. I showed up super wrecked from last night, and Pope goes, "Hey, did you see the video yet?" No, what's the video? And then I found that was the second time I watched it right now, and it is dope. So it's cool seeing the kind of stuff that we've already done. So, man, what are we gonna dive into today, Pope?
Anything that anybody wants to ask us. So however they send you questions, feel free to literally ask us anything. We'll look at what we normally do, which is the first part of training for us is we study and look at where the money is going. I call that the money flow cycle, because when money is leaving the crypto market, the total market cap is going down. That money is going somewhere, right? So we want to look. Our tools and our philosophy or strategy isn't just for crypto. This works in any market. So the more intensive you want to get as a trader to how many different markets you trade or how many different pairs on those markets that you trade, these tools work. And that's the beautiful thing about them. And if you don't want to trade a bunch of markets, knowing that money is leaving is advantageous for protecting your capital, because then we know everything's coming down in crypto and maybe it's the time to short, But what's happening this year and I guess the start of this year and then in 2023 is money is entering and leaving the space a lot faster, to the tunes of sometimes over $100 billion in less than 24 hours. And that's a lot of money, and that's great information to have. So we'll give a little bit of an example of what we're going to be doing starting next week, which is reporting on the money flow cycle and where we think it's going, what we think is happening. And when it comes in, is it staying in the Bitcoin and Ethereum and the majors, or is it rolling down into the alts and we can start looking for some big gains in the altcoins?
Love it. Well, this is the fun part that I get to keep saying. I don't know most of what you just said, but I'm going to be learning. And for so many of my friends that I'm excited are coming in and joining the Discord and are going to be along for the journey, that have wanted to learn to trade. They've wanted to learn how to understand all this stuff for so long. There's never, at least for me, there hasn't been a really good fit where I could learn. And I've told so many people how cool it's been seeing, I'll share on the screen really quick, how cool it's been just seeing like the fact that there's all these different modules about different stuff that I've been able to learn from, not only as we edited, but just watching back now and having access to online courses that aren't like, it's not like we're selling online courses. It's not like it's some, do this and you'll get rich. It's like, if you want to learn, here it is. Come learn. It's here.
Yeah. It's exactly that, man. Like, you've heard me say a ton of times, maybe if you're just watching and you haven't really seen a lot of me or know who I am, I'd be shocked. Actually, it's mostly friends and family. What we do is we just try to always break it down, keep it simple. And it's just my strategy. It's where I found my success. I don't know everything. Never claim to. But I know if we put a lot of like-minded people together, everybody has various skills and skill sets, and we can all learn from each other. So this is just a strategy that I use that helps me grab a lot of smaller percentages. And when you stack smaller percentages on top of each other, it'll actually blow your mind how much money that turns into. And I was fortunate to be in a position where I was able to invest in a company as one of their sole investors, and they do IP with basically a lot of different things in mathematics, and one of them is algorithms for TradingView. And they were able to come up with some pretty funky tools over the last 5 years. And as part of my investment condition, I wanted some rights for Web3 and my friends, and to be able to share these tools. And they said, sure. And that's kind of what got us to where we are today. And I'm excited. I'm stoked because a lot of my friends and family over the last little bit have seen my success. Just like everybody else at first, when you're new, it's a scam. What's going on? Like all that kind of stuff. And then they actually start to go, oh, okay, this is actually legit. How you doing that? And it just became an easier place to have one source of information as opposed to trying to meet everybody else's schedule. And as you know, the hardest part of the system isn't the learning of the skills or the system at all. It's managing your own emotion. And if you have a good self psychology and understanding of your emotion, this could be very successful for you. And having a group in our Discord also helps with that on both sides of it. So it's kind of like the whole project in a nutshell: the community, the tools, and then the modules and how to use them. And then when you're in our community weekly, we're going to give you a recap, and I walk through using them. And as you know, typically with anything, when you hear the language more, you see it being used, it starts to make a lot more sense. And then eventually you're fishing for yourself. I don't have to, teach you how to fish anymore. And that was it. I just didn't want to feed people. I didn't want to go, oh, here's a call, because if I, leave in a couple of years, that doesn't leave you with anything except hunger now.
No more fish. No more.
Right.
No
And then
more
you're like,
fish.
what the hell, asshole? Right. So here's how we do it. Here's the tools we use. Here's great information that makes you better as a trader, Monday to Friday. I would love to do it 7 days, but we need to touch grass.
I love you said we need to touch grass. There's literally a module that I'm looking at right now. It's all touching grass. Like, who's gonna have a trading module system talking about how to actually keep your head on right as you go through all of this stuff that has a mask with lasers coming out and horns telling you to touch grass. It's fucking cool. I love it. It's super cool. Hey, I did want to shout out some people that are down there in the audience and invite you guys to come up. We got I see our boy Primo, I see Supreme, Remy Rye, we got Prince down there. What's up, Prince? We got Quan. Yeah, if you guys want to come up, if you got anything to say, we're just doing
Quan's in there. I would love to hear Quan's story.
All right, let's go. So I'm inviting everybody to speak. Feel free, come up. We're just gonna shoot the shit for a bit as well because we're starting on Monday. And so this is just a quick AMA. Anyone's got questions, we're live streaming this on YouTube. And if you feel like kind of checking out behind the scenes what we're talking about, I'm guessing a lot of you guys are already in the Discord and already have access to the modules. So
that's if they entered their information. Right.
Say that one more time.
That's if they entered their information to get the access. To get the module access, if you're in the Discord, you have to go to the official links. The last link at the bottom of the official links channel is where you click for module and indicator access. It'll take you to our landing page for your enrollment. You'll put in your email, Twitter handle, your Discord handle, your name.
Yeah, I think you got
And
a
you
fan.
don't have to dox yourself. You can be Joe Blows and all that kind of stuff, whatever you want to be. But you do need all that access for it. And everybody's like, oh, why don't you do it here? Why don't you do it there? You'll learn how powerful the website is, because that's where a lot of our private live streams will be, constantly updating the modules, that kind of thing.
How often do you think we're going to do live public things like this? Because I mean, right now, like we have somebody just chimed in. Literally, we got a comment on the live stream. It's a just a laughing emoji. That's it. But you could be asking questions in the comments in the chat. We could be highlighting anything that you're curious about. And same thing, we got the comments here on Twitter. But regardless, this is a community thing. So like I do want to hear from more people. And maybe sometimes they're not going to be inside the Discord and they're going to have questions. So I'm guessing we're going to do a few of these public, yeah?
Yeah, I think on the Fridays where we do kind of a week recap, and what we think is coming ahead. And then when you're in our Discord, you're going to see like our master trading list, or the coins that we're researching that have a lot of possibility of some big gains. So we'll be kind of doing weekly recaps, whereas if you're in the Discord, you're going to get a lot of that stuff daily, sometimes hourly. Our team, I've worked with some of these guys for the last couple of years. They're very familiar with my system. Supreme Crypto, Amir, Remy Rai, these guys, moderators, and providing a lot of technical analysis and the insight into the markets. These guys know their stuff too. And it's great to be able to find like-minded people that not only are passionate about trading, but they're passionate about sharing and helping people learn. And that's why we have limited spaces in our Discord, because you can only help and teach so many people at once. And that's a big part of it. And you want to be in a space where you can be comfortable, vulnerable. Finances for a lot of people aren't an easy thing to talk about. They are emotional. I get that. So let's help. Let's provide a place where we can. And that was kind of the birth of this whole project, to be honest.
No, it was cool. I remember, so when we were on the Filter live stream, and I see this guy with bad internet reception standing in a park with a fucking a laser eye Bored Ape Yacht Club AR mask, and you started talking about the trading and everything that was happening in the market, and I was like, what is this? Like, this needs to be content. Like, this I can actually listen to. So I'm excited to be chopping up a lot of the little pieces for our social medias and all that stuff. But more importantly, just hearing people in the community and seeing them get their wins, or kind of sharing when they have fumbles and stuff like that. Like, that's, to me, the only shot that I have about coming into something and actually learning without having to make all the mistakes myself.
Oh, you're gonna make them. You're gonna make them. No worries. We all do. I still make some of the same mistakes. We're human, right? But no, it's nice too, because, for example, I know some of my family is actually in there, and they know nothing, like nothing. And I got a phone call. They've started going to modules, and they're liking it. But that's how I know one of our modules is missing. Was like, hey, you say you're going to walk us through the hot wallet setup. Where's the video? And I'm like, we have it. Clearly just not on our site. So we'll get that up. And if you have a question, that means a bunch of other people do too. And we always said we're going to be constantly upgrading and improving. And how we do that is getting the questions you have, so we can either make a module on it, get the answer for it if we don't know. And sometimes, sadly, they are kind of vague answers. I'm not sure if it's An America or An America, or how you say it. She had a question in our Discord about taxes and things like that. And what is the best implication? How do you handle it? Is it better to have an LLC and all these things? And that's such a topic that I want to give answers to. But one, I'm not a tax professional. And two, it's different for everybody in every different location. And not only that, it also depends on how much you're making. it might not be the best step to set yourself up here when your tax level's still down here. And as much as I want to be able to answer that question, be like, oh, oh, you're in this state or in this city, go to XYZ. We don't have that, but we do have some contacts with great people in this space. Meta Law was very instrumental at helping me secure the IP rights for these indicators, and making sure that nobody on our staff or in our Discord is unsafe when it comes to legal matters. We can discuss these things as non-financial advice, of fucking course, and not have to worry, and that was a big peace of mind thing for me as well. And same with our Discord period, John HQ built it, and he's been working with us for how long? And then that breach with the Board 8s came along, and Boring Security, helped negotiate all that value back. And people really started to see the importance of security and all these things even more so. And then some have been like, oh shit, they built your Discord? And I'm like, yeah, I want everybody in here to be safe. I want to know when I go to bed at night, I've done everything I need to do to keep our community safe, educated, and hopefully making money, which no brainer in my part on that one.
And have some fun too, because
Right?
I mean, at the end of the day, like we worked so many hours together, but I could say like none of it was like, oh God, I got to do this again. Like we've built this stuff pretty much with love and care and fun the whole way through.
Totally.
So, and I feel like the funny part is we're literally starting Monday. That was pregame, and that was a good time, and that was the majority of the work and all that. So, and doing it kind of without a community, right? Because we were building it for them, before them, which is
and the majority of them had no clue. Right. And for those that do know me as Canna Crypto Pope, when we were about to announce all of this, I lost my Discord. I've lost my access to my identity, Canna Crypto Pope, on Discord. And then finally, and I'm happy about this, but the community has woken up to security. So you know how hard it is to go into a place and be like, oh yeah, I'm Canna. They'll be like, fuck off. Like, come on, right? So, and another part of Meta Law, I am going after Discord. I didn't do anything nefarious or wrong. I couldn't update an email address, and they said I couldn't prove who I was after I gave them everything to prove who I was. So they logged me out of all my accounts.
Well, I'm glad
it's still there. So I didn't ghost you. If you sent me a message, my bad. Well, I guess they're bad. But I am Nfa Ofc. This is our team. We got Chris D that makes me look good with his editing team, Primo, who I know is down below. We have the Crypto Katie, who is just as much as a noob as a lot of people in here, and sharing her experiences along the way. And it's been a gas. And that's our goal, is to make finance fun. I don't want to be snobby. I don't want to be stuffy. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. Like, some of these principles and the way we teach them are really simple. As I said, the learning of how to use the tools and how all this works won't take you long. If you have a skill set, a tradesperson, a nurse, done any kind of education, that's probably more difficult than the skill set of actually trading. The hard part is knowing market entry, market exit, and emotion. Not getting greedy is probably one of the hardest things. There's always more.
If you didn't see this yet, every time this guy does hand gestures on the screen, his MacBook will like throw lasers in the background, or like a whole light show, or little pop-up bubbles and stuff. So mini modules accidentally have some weird stuff in the background.
Sometimes it just does that.
I know. Hey, we got Remy up here too. Remy Rye, my man, how are you doing today? Welcome to the stage. I would love for you to kind of talk a little bit about what you've seen so far that we've built, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Nfa Ofc fam? What's up, Chris? What's up, Canna? How are you doing? Good.
It's late for you. What time is it there?
Week, actually. I've just been recovering from New Year's. You know, my birthday was on New Year's Day.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday and happy New Year's. And what time is it out there right now, man?
It's like 7:22 right now, 7 p.m. So I'm just currently making some food. But yeah, no, I'm pretty stoked. I've seen, you know, a lot of people get excited with what we got in the Discord right now. You know, the indicators, they're proving a lot of things, and a lot of people wrong as well. You know, even myself. You know, when you see the indicators fire, you know, on a 4-hour chart at the total crypto market cap where it's overbought, you know, and you kind of think, it doesn't feel like it's overbought. And then the next day we lose fucking, you know, so many billions from the market cap. And then you're like, oh, well, you know, the indicator did fire that it was overbought. You know, it's like, you know, you just have to remind yourself all the time on how to use the indicators. And they don't lie. Like, you know, even myself and Amir, we look at it and we're thinking, wow, like this is so incredible to have, like, you know, just some knowledge on how to utilize, you know, a powerful tool like this. And it helps you get those easy entries, helps you get those easy exits, you know, and then it's all up to you. Like you said, you got to learn to keep your emotions in check in this game. You know, there's so many times where I've been pretty high up on my percentages, and, you know, I've not taken, or, you know, I haven't realized a lot of gains. You know, I think 2022, I was quite a bit up in unrealized gains, actually, where I didn't take those gains. And, you know, Pope, you've been very helpful on, you know, realizing that you don't have to hit a home run all the time. You know, just hit that first base all the time, and just take those small percentage gains, and realize that the market, it can fuck anyone over at any time. It doesn't really care. So yeah, it's continuous learning, and, you know, everyone in Discord will get there. So yeah.
Well, look at that 4-minute wick out yesterday on Bitcoin, right? When Asia woke up. Like, when you have these tools to help protect your capital, you know, you might, like you said, you might not always get that home run, right? And there's so many times they've fired for me, and I'm like, hey, I don't know about that, because no one indicator is always right, you know, and they do have margins of error, but these are mathematically, statistically proven indicators. We don't have these lags like others do. And it's interesting when you see that, and it's that battle between you and knowing what to do. And you're like, okay, the tools are telling me to get out, but my heart's saying stay in. That's always the hard battle. And when you are taking those little percentages on top of each other and you see how they compound, it's mind blowing. So if you're new at first, I'm always like, we have to stop focusing on money. You have to focus on percentages. That will screw with your emotion all the time. When you first start, all you're trying to do is get 1 to 2% a trade. Doesn't sound like much. Master that. And then you want to go for that 3 to 5% per trade. Maybe it's a little longer time frame. Maybe you're in and out a bunch. However, you're getting those percentages. Because over 60 trades with a 25% failure rate, which is 48 trades now, at 5% is a 10x, right? And if you can do that multiple times, you're 10x in your 10x. And you can see how the system becomes really powerful once you start to have a little bit of stack of capital. But you don't need a lot of capital in the beginning to start stacking it. What you need is the patience, because if you're not starting with a lot, you're not stacking a lot right away, but that'll grow and grow and grow. And then if you master 8% and you're trading with 100 grand, you're making 8 grand per trade.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm excited to see this stuff. I was watching some of the stuff Supreme was talking about just over the holidays. Crazy stuff. But I'll tell you one thing that I've been hearing a lot more from the local crowd out here in LA. Man, it was wild week after week for a couple weeks there. Just people coming in and talking about all this wild stuff happening with shit coins. And I'm like, damn, like that all sounded to me like blindly just rolling out there and then just hoping you're going to hit. And like, I'm sure there's plenty of people that have all sorts of smart things they could say about why it makes sense what they're doing. But boy, do I feel so much better seeing that there's like multiple layers of indicators and checks and things that are like, I might feel a certain way. I might think this is going to be a great opportunity, but if all the things are telling me stay away, something's about to happen, or take some profits, or hey, now's a great time to dump actually put some money into the market, not just because it happens to be burning a hole in your pocket, but because there's an entry point right here. That's what I would feel better to do than roll in and be like, hey guys, had you heard about shark tits? Because that shit's crazy to me. It's wild.
Supreme Crypto made a post yesterday, day before, and it showed 3 of our indicators firing to the downside when Bitcoin was starting to get near the overbought, and it was a day and 4 hours. I think it was 28 hours notification prior to it actually happening. And when you're looking for good exits, or if you're standing in profit, you learn why take that risk. It's saying it's going to go to the downside. Trust it, especially if you're in profits. I find that's the hardest thing for a lot of people is taking profit. They're chasing that rush of trying to make more money all the time. And if you don't take it, you haven't made anything. And then your dollar cost entering, because it's probably now on the retracement, you've held it all the way down. So if you want to make any money, you got to buy in again on the bottom consolidation to wait for it to go back up. And that's part of our strategy, because it's not a crystal ball. It's not perfect, right? There are going to be times when the indicators are wrong and something else happens. And we have strategies. What do you do for that when that happens? Let's mitigate how often those happen, but let's also mitigate what happens when that happens. And these are all those little skill sets, then when you stack them on top of each other, make you that much better of a trader as well. So it's not just having the tools, it's knowing how to use them. And then it's also having strategies for when the tools don't work sometime. Our tools are 70% chance or better of firing. And then when you add up your knowledge and other ones on top of that, you get that much better. But learning also how to handle loss and when they're wrong or when you make a mistake is another part of all of it. And we have a module where loss can be a good thing. It could be freeing up capital. It's going to free up your capital. It's going to help you with getting education. If you have a big loss, you're probably not going to make that mistake again. And you're also getting your write-off for taxes for a lot of places, capital loss benefit. So,
well, the other thing too is that I know we have a couple different groups that we have extended like a chunk of invites, so that as people are coming in, they're not just one person out of the few hundred that we're kind of capping this community at, but they could come in with, let's say, 10, 20 other people from their already kind of tight-knit community. Because there's a lot of people that, some of these guys are apes, some of them are Azuki, some of them are coming in from different communities, and for them to be in there with their friends that are also learning, or that are already experienced traders that they've never been able to actually have these conversations with, that I think is one of the coolest things for me to know, that there's all kinds of friends that I have that I can't talk about trading with, because I don't trade. That's just not my thing. But I know they're now going to be inside of NFA OFC, and as they're doing their thing, they'll be able to contribute. We'll be able to actually have those conversations, and other people that are in those communities in my position who don't normally trade will be in there and kind of watching and learning from their friends and from the modules, and just watching as we go. And speaking of which, Monday, what time are we kicking this thing off? And you gave me a number earlier. Is that the time we're going to kick this off on Monday?
believe so. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That gives 10 for the East Coast of the U.S. It's 10 in the morning, starting to get early in the morning around Asia. And it's a late evening, early morning for the UK. And that's the thing, like, we can't make every time zone happy. So there's always going to be a little give and take. But when we're talking about the money flow cycle, we're looking at it on the daily and where we're thinking it's happening, moving to what we're noticing. And the other thing is, that's just the live show. We're going to be in the Discord. I monitor the money flow all the time, like by the hours, the minutes. So if I see something drastic happen and I can't get on live, it's going to be in our Discord. I'm going to be talking about it there, dropping the information there. And then in our Discord too, under general chat, we have a questions channel. And if you're not wanting to interrupt general because you're a little nervous about it or just don't want to, you can go to that questions channel and just drop it in there. And myself or one of the mods will see it and we'll get to it as fast as we can. And same thing, if we don't know the answer, we'll say it. So
you can also drop questions in right under the modules in any of the online courses. Like after you watch something, if you have a question about the video that you just watched, you can literally drop a comment right there. Or if you have to sneeze, you can turn off your camera instead of muting, like Pope just did. It was fun. My God, he was a monkey, and now he's a circle that says NFA OFC with the sneeze behind it. That was pretty funny. But
that was good. That was good. Yeah.
We're about to wrap up anyway here, but if anybody does have questions, again, feel free. I did want to say thanks to Remy Rye for popping up here. But I mean, this is the pregame. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
well, was there any questions?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing, and boy, did I stay up way too late last night for me to dig deep. I'm like, cool. We've been chopping it up. People know what to expect. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited to see everybody who showed up for the space here. So shout out to all of you guys that are down there, and I hope to see you guys. Especially, we're gonna do some of these that are private videos. Some of them are gonna be public videos because let's face it doesn't hurt us to talk about this publicly and get this information out there. But we also want to have a good safe spot where like we don't have trolls that are coming into the Discord and causing problems. And there's something that I left out of one of the videos we were supposed to post the other day. People will be yeeted. There will be a no being a dick rule where if people are in there causing problems, like we're removing them because we want this to be a good safe spot to come in so people don't have to feel like they can't just post something up in general, or they can't just post a question that they feel dumb asking, because this should be a place that you could do that if you're inside, because not everybody will be inside. It will be a valuable place to just connect and learn together.
Exactly. Love it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll show off the indicators probably on a live space this weekend, as there wasn't a lot of people here. If there are questions that you have in the Discord that you want us to cover for the next one before we kick off on Monday, get them in there in the questions column, and we'll cover it. Thanks again. Have a happy Friday and a great weekend.
We'll see you guys. Take care.
Get you guys.